You're listening to the Grumpy Stew Podcast, a comedy podcast for flight attendants. This is episode 53. I am the Grumpy Stew, and have I got another mediocre show lined up for you today. It'd be probably helpful if I could speak English. Real quick, make sure you're following everything Grumpy Stew. All the Twitters, all the social medias can be found at thegrumpystew.com, including the merch store, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Threads is a new one for the Grumpy Stew. And gotta admit, I have a bit of a problem on the threads. That's the first step to recovery. That's what they say. First step to recovery is admitting you have a problem. I have a problem on threads. My problem on threads is I have a really bad habit of trolling airline haters and letting them know that they're stupid. So if you want, at your own discretion, check out the Grumpy Stew on threads. And for those of you on the YouTube, as you can see, I'm trying something different. So if you're listening to the podcast audio only, hey, do yourself a favor. Just hit pause and switch on over to the YouTube and pull up the Grumpy Stew on YouTube. Pull up episode 53, and you're going to see something new and different. So how about that? But don't get too excited. I do want to moderate expectations a little bit. It's not that great, but it's different. It's new. All right, coming up, all the usual rants, raves, crass humor, and maybe even a dick joke. But before we do all of that stuff, we got to listen to a message from our sponsor.
This is the captain speaking. Buckle up. It's gonna be a grumpy ride. It's the Grumpy Stew Podcast. Oh yeah.
Are you tired of pushing aisle chairs for passengers who leap to life the moment they see row one? Well, friends, praise be. Help has arrived. Introducing Jetway Jesus. He walks a moving walkway of righteousness and heals a miraculously needy just in time for pre-boarding. But that's not all. With your monthly donation of just 2 expired crew meal vouchers, you also support the Little Sisters Home for the chronically flatulent. Because no soul should suffer alone in a middle seat. Jetway Jesus, healing the lame, uplifting the lazy, and clearing the cabin, one miracle at a time. Available exclusively at Gate Charlie 19. All right, welcome back to the podcast. I'm the grumpy one, the grumpiest flight attendant in the world, right here just for you. Yeah, it's been a minute since I produced an episode of the Grumpy Stew Podcast, primarily because nobody listens to this shit. I've virtually on audio, I have like no audience. Most of my audience is on social media, but it's all kind of drying up. That is the truth of it. Whether it's a podcast or social media, it's all drying up. Like I've produced almost 1,700 memes just on Instagram, and you know, my memes today are funnier than the memes when I first started making memes, and my memes today barely get any traction at all. The audience is drying up. It's a niche. It's a niche audience. And there's honestly only so many ways you can make flight attendant stuff interesting, because we all have like the same 5 or 6 things in common. We're all basically trained the same. We all work on planes. We all deal with passengers. We all serve drinks, and we all stay in hotels on layovers, except for maybe the 1 or 2 airlines out there that only do turns. But same common stuff. Same passengers can't find the same fucking toilets on the same fucking planes. Same people have the same objections to airplane food. Same people don't like their seats. It's all the same. How can I, if you have an idea, shoot it to me. If you got a funny story, you got a funny joke, you got a meme idea, whatever, send it to me. If I can make it funny, I will. But that's it. There's really not much to talk about. And speaking of podcasts, that 2 guys on a plane, they just started their podcast. Good for them. 2 guys on a plane. It's Rich and Drew, seriously nice guys, and they're funny. They're funnier than me. They have a nice audience, have a huge audience on Instagram in particular. And I'm sure they've noticed the same stuff. Like, they put out a meme or A reel today, it will not have the traction that a meme or reel would have a year ago. It's the same shit. Now they're doing their podcast. Hopefully have some success with it, but they're going to find the same shit I found. After about 10, 15 episodes, there's really only so much to talk about. So I'll do my best. I'll muddle through it. I'm a slave to the grumpy stews out there. I am, if nothing but a giver. I'm generous of my time, and I'll do it just for you, okay? I'm a nice guy. So, flight attendant stuff. Again, how can you make this interesting? You know, in-flight executives always like to brag about how difficult it is to get hired as a flight attendant, and they'll be like, statistically speaking, it's more difficult to become a flight attendant than to get into Harvard. And I'm just kind of looking around, and the more I think about it and look around, I kind of think that maybe someone might be getting ripped off here, and I don't think it's Harvard that's drawing the short end of that stick. I think it's my airline. Just like they claim to have industry-leading contracts and work rules, logically speaking, not every flight attendant work group can have an industry-leading contract and work rules. Sorry, that's just math. That's not me talking. That's just math. United Stews, in particular, have recently rejected their tentative agreement that their union, AFA, I believe, has reached with their management. The TA had a huge response. 98% of eligible voters voted on the TA. 71%, if I'm not mistaken, 71% said no to the first TA. And I think that is very telling. That says something. They should send a message across the bow. But you know what thing they're going to pull first is they're going to say, well, we're a family. That's what United's going to say. We're a family. We're the United family. And AFA is going to say the same shit. We're a family. We're the AFA flight attendant, United flight attendant family. Bullshit. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. You're not a family. Here's the proof of it. United's contract expired. They won't say expired. They say it's been amended. It was amended in 2021, and their stews have gone without pay increases since 2020, so 5 years. This is August 2025. Flight attendants at United Airlines have not had a pay increase. They have not had an increase of their pay scale since 2025. Since 2020. And here's the kicker. This is why they're not a family. This is why I don't buy that bullshit. AFA waited until 2023 to begin new contract negotiations. They claimed that, they wanted to see how the pilot's contract ratified first and see what they got and how that turned out. Okay, sure. But the first excuse was because of COVID. They said, COVID, we can't get together, we can't talk about it. I'm sorry, I just don't buy that. It's called Zoom. It's called emails, smoke signals, phone. The phone's not complicated. You pick it up, you press it up against your head, you talk into it. You can have negotiations over the phone. You don't have to sit across from another person to have a negotiation. They should have started on this shit in 2019, quite frankly. Quite frankly. But they didn't. They waited until 2023. And so I'm just not buying this family bullshit. And you know what? I'm happy for the United flight attendants for rejecting that temporary agreement. Is it a temporary agreement? Whatever it is. The TA. I see, I've got this thing where I can't remember anything. And I'll probably joke about that later. But anyway, they rejected the TA. Part of the TA was a nice pay increase, which is good. They deserve it. The other part of the TA was something called retro pay, but it's really a bonus. They just call it retro pay. It's a bonus that is taxed at 39%. And the bonus, if you think about it, is really just pennies on the dollar of what they otherwise could have earned. Because if you think about it for a moment, you went basically 5 years without a pay increase. And what do you make now? Like 50 grand, 60 grand, 70 grand, 80 grand. Think of how much money you could have made over those 5 years, had you just received regular pay increases to your pay scale, but you didn't. So they're going to insult you with, what, a $40,000 retro pay bonus, $50,000, whatever it is. That is pennies on the dollar of what you otherwise could have earned. And I just think that's kind of fucking bullshit. But that's me.
It's the grumpy super dads. Yeah!
Sometimes, I'm legitimately jealous of other people. And you know what I'm really jealous of is I'm jealous of Helen Keller. She was deaf and blind. And if you think about it, she kind of had it fucking made and she didn't even know it. She didn't know it. She had it made. She couldn't hear any kids whining and screaming and bitching and carrying on. She couldn't hear any Karens complaining about stupid bullshit or annoying colleagues and their boring stories on the fucking jump seat. You couldn't see people do disgusting shit like walk around barefoot. I mean, there's something to be said for being deaf and blind. Another thing, I take these days and I like to, just be retrospective and introspective and kind of think about things I'm grateful for. And what I'm really grateful for, what really makes me happy is a flight cancellation. There's just something about a canceled flight, especially if it's, on go home day. I know people want to go home. I want to go home too, but I don't mind getting stuck in Zurich. You know what I mean? On go home day, and they got to pay me to be there and eat some more food and drink some more beer and spend another night in the hotel and just, pay me for it. That's great. And the best part of a flight cancellation is seeing all the disappointed faces. It is, oh God, it's like, it's better than sex. It just makes getting out of bed worth it. You know what I mean? Oh man. And so like I mentioned, I've got this memory. I can't remember shit. I've got a memory of a goldfish. 3 seconds later, it is gone. It might as well not exist. So I've developed some tricks to kind of help me remember things. And one thing that I found is that if I just stop listening to people, I've got a lot less shit to remember. And I've got this condition. And I'm grateful for this condition. It's called giving thanks, having gratitude. I've got this condition where, I just gotta let dumb people know they're stupid. I have to. I can't help it. It's visceral. And if you follow me on the threads, you'll see what I mean. But if I find a dumb person on threads, I'll let them know, hey, you're fucking stupid. As most of you probably know, I live in Orlando. Yes, I'm a Disney person. I hesitate to say that. It's not like I'm all obsessed with Disney. I just like going to the parks. I like the theme parks. I like the food. They have great restaurants. Believe it or not. And I think Disney's more fun as an adult because there's rides I can ride that kids can't ride. I can drink, and that helps. They can't, though I think there's something funny about, like a toddler getting drunk. I think that could be funny. Anyway, I was at Disney, walking around. It's August. It's not exactly cold here. And I see this guy, he's wearing a long sleeve flannel shirt and jeans. And it's just kind of out of place, And I just kind of help but wonder, where does this guy live? That Central Florida is cold by comparison. Venus? I mean, it's insane. Dude, wear some shorts and a short sleeve shirt. It won't kill you. Sunscreen. Sunscreen, man. If you're sensitive to the sun, sunscreen. They make it. They have it. They have it. It's cheap. You don't buy it at Disney World. It's expensive at Disney World, but buy it somewhere else. It's very affordable. A random thought I had, and something that you really don't see this outside of the United States. You really only see it in the U.S., as far as I am aware. I have to preface this because, a lot of the audience is younger than me. I'm old. And I remember when the Big Gulp first became a thing. The big, really big fountain drinks from 7-Eleven, the big ones, huge. They're like 64 ounces of pure liquid. In other words, they're the only beverage on the planet with an undertow, okay? Huge drinks. But, you're back from your trip to Venus and you're a little dehydrated, so you pop into the 7-Eleven and get a big gulp.
It's the Grumpy Stew Podcast. Yeah.
So, in speaking of sunscreen, I was just at Target because I needed to buy some more sunscreen. And today, the day I'm recording this, is August 5th. Yesterday was August 4th. So essentially the first week of August. It's August. And they're already putting up Halloween shit. Halloween shit on the shelves in August. Halloween is basically 2 months away. By next week, they'll have Christmas shit on the shelf and skip Thanksgiving altogether. It's weird. It's just so fucked up. Give people time to appreciate the season they're in. It's still summer. It is too early to even talk about Halloween. They already had the fucking pumpkin spice latte out. It's August. August. Pumpkin spice fucking latte. Give me a fucking break. That's just, these white chicks, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. They're taking over and they're fucking shit up. And I don't think I really like it very much. But you know what I'm going to do about it? I'm going to listen to our next sponsor. And they're going to give me a product that'll help me stop giving a fuck. Feeling overwhelmed? Consumed by drama? Try Fuckatol, the once daily pill that helps you stop giving a fuck about literally everything. Now available over the counter, under the sink, or spiritually delivered by a raccoon in scrubs. Side effects may include sudden smirking, unexplained peace, chronic eye rolling, spontaneous wine consumption, loud sighing on the jump seat, reduced interest in your coworker's 3-hour cruise story, sudden job loss, excessive wearing of pajamas in public, blunt texts, and in rare cases, interpretive dance. Ask your therapist if Fuckatol is right for you. Or don't, because you really don't give a fuck anymore.
It's the Grumpy Stew Podcast. Yeah.
All right, back to the Grumpy Stew Podcast. Part of what's kind of helped me, or I should say kept me from producing additional podcasts, personal life kind of got in the way. I adopted these 2 cats. Okay. It's basically the feline comedy duo. Their name is Cheech and Chong. That's the name they came with from the SPCA. I kept it. Cheech and Chong. Well, Cheech, how can I put this? He's a fucking asshole. And he's a very curious cat. He's kind of smart, for a cat. I mean, let's set expectations here. He's got a few obsessions, and one of his obsessions is strings. He loves strings. I don't know where he found it, how he found it, where he got it, but he found this big, long, broad shoestring. I don't even have a pair of shoes that this thing goes to. But he found it. He's playing with it. He's playing with it all goddamn week. He loves this thing. I don't think anything of it. He loves it. I figured he's smart enough not to try to eat the string. Well, turns out he's not smart enough to not eat the string. I came back from a trip. I get home, and I'm greeted by 2 little piles of puke on the floor with little bits of string in it. So apparently he tried to eat the string, and he managed to actually swallow a little part of it. And so, the next morning he couldn't keep anything down. I'm like, oh shit, he swallowed the fucking string. So we scoop him up, go to the vet, and, the x-ray showed a little bit of, it's called plication. It's like when the intestines start to do the accordion thing, it's called plication. And that was indicative of a foreign object being in the intestine, which was the case. So $5,000 later, I get my cat back from the vet. He had to have emergency surgery. And you know what? Quite frankly, I think they broke my cat. That's what I was thinking at first, because he was just so out of it when he first came back from the vet. He was with them for like 2 days and, like a day and a half of recovery. I get him back and he was zoinked out of his scoob, okay? He was higher than a goddamn Chinese spy balloon. And I just thought, like, maybe they fucked it up and they didn't want to admit it. Like, they forgot to reboot him or something. But it was the meds, and they gave me some meds to give him to help him help him control the pain. And it's called gabapentin. And, you squirt it in his little mouth, and he does that, but he swallows it. And I got to tell you, I did not like what this stuff did to him. So after a couple days, I just kind of started backing off on the medication. Because I'll tell you, one day, he's high as a kite, and he walks downstairs to, he uses his box, he eats a little food, and he just sits in the middle of the living room, just sitting there. Not even blinking. Eyes open, lights on, nobody home. Just sitting there, staring into space. And I'm like, why don't you blink, dude? I mean, what's going on? So I knew it was the meds, and I start backing him off the meds. It's like 2 a.m. I had enough. I was sitting there watching him stare into space. So I went to bed. I get up to feed the other cat, and I find Cheech laying down in his temporary cat litter. Because I just got him like a standard box, because normally they have, it's a long story. They got these automated things that they use. So I got him a standard one that he could just get in, because he had to wear the collar, right? And he couldn't get in. So anyway, I knew it was the meds, and bumped him off the meds a little bit, little by little, take him off the meds. It took a few days, but he got right back to being full Cheech power, right back to being annoying, right back to being an asshole. And so long story short, $5,000 later, he's fine. He's good. He doesn't remember anything because he still goes after strings. I have to hide stuff. I have to lock stuff up. I have heavy kettlebells and door stops, and are things that I don't want him getting into. And he finds a way. So that's Cheech Chong. He's just around. He's just there somewhere taking a nap. That's Chong. So the other personal thing that's been going on is recently, I made the decision that I need to lose some weight. I need to lose a serious amount of weight, because the bottom line of it is I have developed a very unhealthy relationship with food. That is the bottom line. I have an unhealthy relationship with food. If you put food in front of me, I will eat it. And when I get done eating that, I'll pick at your plate and help you finish yours. And that's really not healthy. And it got to the point where I was over 200 pounds. I'm only 5'8". I was over 200 pounds. My clothes don't fit. My uniform didn't. I looked like a fucking sausage in that thing. And I was tired all the time. I was unhealthy. And so I turned to peptides. Peptides are a wonderful thing. There are peptides out there for everything. And I used a drug called tirzepatide. It's a GLP that basically what tirzepatide does is it acts on the digestive system and the digestive organs, and it just slows everything down. And it keeps food in your stomach longer, and so you don't feel hungry. So after a while, I just kind of had to remind myself that I should eat something, and I did. But even now, I have been off the drug for a couple weeks. I know my appetite is back. I feel hungry, but I don't feel the need to eat everything I see. And I go and eat, and I don't feel the need to finish everything on my plate. I can eat about half, and I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that. I don't have to eat everything that's in fucking front of me anymore. I'm glad to have changed my relationship with food, and it's going to be an ongoing body of work, something I have to work on to keep that better relationship with food. It's just something I'm going to have to do probably throughout my life. But I'm glad I tried tirzepatide. I'm glad I made the step to fix that part of my life, because, listen, I had like this chronic fucking heartburn, chronic heartburn. And everything would set it off. Just bending over to tie my shoes would set off an attack of heartburn. I constantly have little bottles of heartburn medication in my bag, by my bed, in my car. I use Nexium because like other stuff just doesn't work. And for a normal person, one Nexium will last 24 hours for a normal person. For me, I pop one, I feel nothing, pop two, maybe get some relief, might have to take a third one. And just like any kind of physical exertion would set off an attack of heartburn. I had to quit working out because being physically active would set it off. Well, you know what? Ever since I started using tirzepatide, I'm not going to say I'm cured, but I have probably turned to use my Nexium 3 times in the last 8 weeks. I'm serious. My chronic heartburn is no longer chronic, at least not at the moment. It's not a cure. I'm not a doctor. I'm sure I'm not cured. But I think part of changing my lifestyle is what's keeping my chronic heartburn from being chronic. And it's more manageable. Because I'm not waking up in the middle of the night to vomit, because I'm not choking on my own bile with chronic heartburn, I actually sleep. I sleep a good 7 hours a night, uninterrupted, except when my cats are around. But I mostly sleep, even when I'm at home. I sleep. And you know what? I'm less grumpy. And I'm drinking less coffee. And I'm less dependent on naps. I still take an occasional nap. But I don't have like that midday shutdown that I got every fucking day for the last several years. Here's something. Like, you know, I live in Orlando. I like to drive out to Tampa and go to the casino. I do that like once a month. Anytime I'm going to be in the car for like 30 minutes, I have to take a nap before I get in the car because I'll fucking fall asleep behind the wheel. It's a problem, right? I haven't been in an accident yet. Been driving for like 30-something years. I have yet to be in an accident. But guess what? Now, I don't have to take a nap before I take a short drive down to Tampa. I can manage to stay awake. No problem. I'm just saying. Oh, and I got a smart ring. That's another thing. I got a smart ring. I got the Oura. It tracks everything. Everything. Your heart rate, your body temperature, your sleep cycle, your cardiovascular age. I have reduced my cardiovascular age 2.5 years. Just because I'm not as heavy and I'm sleeping better. So I think I'm going to end this by saying, talk to your doctor. Get your blood work done. If you're like pre-diabetic, this would probably be great for you. If you are clinically obese, this would be great for you. Talk to your doctor. And there is a guy in Denver that will sell you the peptide cheaper than your pharmaceutical will. So message me. I'll hook you up with him. Well, I thought I was finished recording this episode. This is called a pickup. So there's some industry lingo for you. Here's the pickup. All right. So thanks for listening to the Grumpy Stew podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with people you dislike, especially, and people you know that will hate this. I can think of like sending it to the Mormons at SkyWest. They'll definitely hate this. I think it'll be funny. How about supporting the Grumpy Stew at thegrumpystew.com? Everything Grumpy Stew is right there. All the socials, including the audio podcast. Also, there's the Grumpy Stew merch store. Browse. Maybe you like something you find and you like it. If you use the promo code Karen, you'll save a couple %. And then scroll down to the bottom of the Grumpy Stew podcast, and you'll find a button that says donate. You can send me a couple bucks for a cup of coffee, some cat treats. Every little bit helps. I appreciate your donations, and I will catch you guys again at some point. Take it easy.